Hey guys, got another build for y'all today. This is a Hexblast Chaos build with Demonform. We're focusing on getting our life per second regen up as much as possible so we can maximize our Hexblast damage. I did a lot of fun things with the passive tree to get as many jewel slots and a lot of life regeneration from it. With this setup, currently getting over 400,000 Hexblast DPS without utilizing the Stitch Demon interaction. This build blasts through maps and performs very well into breaches. Alright, quick glance at the gear. What we're looking for on the gear is going to be life regen on every piece we can get it. But first up, we've got the Ghostwraith robe, which is pinnacle for most of these Infernalist builds with a Demonform because you're just getting the extra life reduction. Plus, gives you a ton of energy shield. You're going to want to get you're going to want to get a 60% instead of a 50, so it needs to be corrupted. They run about 2 div right now, just an FYI. And then you're going to want a 24 or more reduced maximum life Ming's Ring. Rest of your stats, you want no maximum life on anything. You just want energy shield, resistances, and max mana. Now in your gloves, you can get the stat gain 48 or gain X life per enemy killed. Huge stat to have if you're mapping. Helps you get a little bit higher stats than normal, or stacks than normal. For your belt, I like the flash recovery applied instantly because we get the instant gratification of healing up our energy shield if we're in trouble, because that is our only defense with this build. But again, just maximize your resist and your life regeneration. Same thing for your boots. Get some movement speed, energy shield, max mana, resist, life per second. You can use the second Ming's Ring. I don't suggest it. You're going to need to get a lot of jewels with resist if you use a second Ming's Ring. So I just grabbed extra life regeneration, and again, filling out all my resists. Like this gives me 43 of my 76 lightning, so I need the ring. I'm not going to get an additional 40% lightning resist from rolling jewels. For the amulet, I have allocated Resilient Soul. Talked about that when we looked at the passive tree. It's just more life regeneration. We've got damage recouped and life gen here, but primarily you're looking for spirit and resist, energy shield, and your life regeneration per second. Helmet, same thing. Max mana, energy shield, resistances, and life per second. Alright, for the skills. We are using the Summon Hound because it does take some of the regen or damage away from us and it applies to him. We're using Meat Shield, Minion Mastery, Last Gasp, Culling Strike, and Elemental Army. Just all boosting him and his HP. And the Culling Strike is pretty cool because it does help kill primarily elites and bosses very quickly. For Hexblast, we've got Arcane Tempo, more cast speed. We have Inspiration because this gets extremely costly when we go into Demonform. Consider casting for more damage. While it is a little bit less cast speed, we have the cast speed from Arcane Tempo, plus we have the cast speed from Demonform. Controlled Destruction, just more damage, and then Chaos Mastery to raise it up again and more damage. The highest damage you can get is from skill ranks. We're using Arctic Armor. This one's good defensive. It also does a lot of damage when we're stacked up. We're using Deep Freeze. It helps freeze them. We're giving it an extra level with Cold Mastery, and then we've got Glaciation for more freeze buildup when they get hit by it. Essence Drain is not really used that much, but when you do use it, I do have wild shards on it. It goes out in this huge circle. It's really cool to look at. Scatter Shot for more projectiles, and Swift Affliction for more damage over time. Dark FG is really good. We've got Withering Touch and Ancestral Urgency. This is good because we get the Withering effect from it, as well as it does draw some aggro away from some mobs if you're in a huge fight or if you're doing some breach runs. Blasphemy is going to keep us always active with curses so that we can do more damage. We've got Hexbloom, so if something dies, they get cursed, and then also we have an increased effect of the curse. Grim Feast is going to double our effective energy shield as we map. Not that effective on bosses, but it's great for mapping, and it'll save you more times than not. We can stack up to 14,000 shield with the build. And then Contagion. Contagion's incredibly strong for mapping. And for it, we've got Chaotic Freeze. Huge, because it does a lot of freeze buildup, and it does it quick. Unleash, because we can get the extra trigger from it. Hand Earth slows the enemies down. And we got Magnified Effect for a larger area. For the build's rotation, it's quite simple. Usually for mapping in a T15 or T16, I'm just running around applying Curse with Blasphemy and Hex Blasting them. If you get into a lot, you can throw down your Dark Effigy and a Contagion and then just start Hex Blasting and everything melts. Um, and then, of course, you've got your Dark Effigy helps with the bosses as well because it's going to give them a wither effect. It also does draw some aggro from them as well as the mob. So it's pretty much the rotation as well. It's really simple. You've seen it in the preview here. I'm just running forward and casting Hexblast most of the time. Alright, so let's look at the Paragon real quick, what we've done with it. So we're grabbing all these mana and cast speed nodes so we can get faster cast to get Hexblast going faster. We're taking a whole bunch of energy shield everywhere. We want to make as much energy shield as we can because we're using Eternal Youth. So all of our defenses are coming from our energy shield. And you can see from the long pathing, there's very little notable and small nodes we're taking. We're going for a whole bunch of jewel slots. We have 10 currently with the build. A few more levels up and we'll get an 11th. But you'll see we're getting a whole bunch of mana regen. This one's huge. This is a huge mana regen for us because you're always moving with this build. So this is massive regen for the build. We're taking more energy shield here. We don't really care about the start of the energy shield recharge because we have our potions to refill it in needs. We do take this one for more energy shield and elemental resist. Take all of these for more energy shield. This one for the additional stun threshold. And then we start pathing all the way around to start getting some of our life regen. So we come all the way around again, picking up a whole bunch of jewel slots and then diving deep into these nodes here. All of these give increased life regeneration and life recovery, which is huge because that's a multiplier as well. And then down here again to more life regeneration. For the anointed, we have anointed the Resilient Soul because that's going to give us more damage recouped as life and life regeneration rate. So that's pretty much the Paragon board total. It's not very interesting. It's just a very strange pathing. Again, we're getting a whole bunch of jewel slots so we can slot in increased life regeneration rate. So all of our jewels are life regeneration. I'd love to see more of them 14s and 15s. I just don't have any more right now. But all of them are going to have increased life generation. I do have a couple that give more max fire resist, but that's not that big of a deal, except for we do get a little bit less damage taken from our other elementals. So that's pretty much the Paragon. Alright, so that's the build, guys. It's not flashy. It's a plain Jane Hexblast build. It gets plenty of stacks with the Paragon, or the passive board. The way I've got it set up, we get a ton of life regen for free, and we get a massive amount of jewel slots. We could put other jewels in there. We could get some damage recouped as life if we wanted. We could throw in some chaos damage, some spell damage, some max energy shield. There's a lot of ways you can go. And currently, even at my level of 91, we've got 10 jewel slots. Looking to have 11 once we get a little bit higher and finish off the cast speed area. Or, I'm sorry, the curse area effect, and then we'll go into the cast speed. So, still some room for improvement with the build. It's a lot of damage. Does a lot of AoE damage. I've really enjoyed playing it. And I hope you do as well. If you're doing a Chaos build as well, or Hexblast, and you got something you're doing that's working cool too, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see it. Until next time, appreciate y'all watching.